saw a win over mighty Michigan in Ann Arbor. For Tennessee, an almost lost season rescued by wins in its last 4 games. Tonight, the season's reward, the Liberty Bowl. Raycom Sports presents the 28th annual Liberty Bowl football game. Live from the Liberty Bowl Stadium in Memphis, Tennessee. Tonight, the Minnesota Golden Gophers of the Big Ten Conference face the Tennessee Volunteers of the Southeastern Conference. It's all part of the Tennessee Homecoming 1986 and an exclusive presentation of Raycom Sports. It's a beautiful night for football in Memphis, Tennessee, and a sellout crowd has jammed Liberty Bowl Stadium for tonight's game between Minnesota and Tennessee. Hello again, everybody. I'm Merle Harmon, called to play-by-play and to analyze the action, the former linebacker, Kevin Kiley. Well, Kevin, both these teams are 6-5, but I got a feeling they're better than that record.
They are better, Merle. That's history. That 6-5 season for both of these teams gone. They have good young players, both Tennessee and Minnesota. Tennessee winners of 4 straight. Minnesota came on strong towards the end of the year, beat then number 2 Michigan in Ann Arbor, and then lost by a field goal to Iowa. These are 2 teams that are ready to go.
Minnesota has lots of offense, and that worries Tennessee. And that offense is led by
the quarterback, the player probably given the most credit for turning this program around, Ricky Foggy. Not that much of a passer. They don't throw the ball too much, but great stats on the ground. A diversified offense. Foggy is the key. He'll make it go. And behind him, the tailback, Darrell Thompson. What a player he is. Last year, he was in high school. This year, the Big Ten Newcomer of the Year. First team all-conference in the Big Ten. They're already talking about the Heisman for Darrell Thompson.
And for Tennessee, Jeff Francis from Mount Prospect, Illinois, came into the program with some big shoes to fill this year, and he's done very well.
They lost all their skill people. Tennessee's offense, they needed a young man with their running game hurting that could lead the offense. Jeff Francis, just a sophomore, came in, passed for almost 2,000 yards. He's got a great arm, a good head, and he's a nice young man, too.
We're looking forward to a great game tonight between the Minnesota Golden Gophers of the Big Ten. The Tennessee Volunteers of the Southeastern Conference will return after this. We'll be back after these messages from your local station from the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Tennessee. This is the Raycom Sports Network. Tonight's Liberty Bowl game is brought to you by Northwest Airlines. Look who gives you more of the world from more of the USA. Look to Northwest. And by the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start. By Mitsubishi, who invites you to test drive and experience the new 1987 Mitsubishi cars and trucks. And by Visa, accepted worldwide for shopping, dining, and travel. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. And by Hayes Microcomputer Products. Say yes to the future with Hayes. For the second year in a row, we have comfortable weather in Memphis, Tennessee for the Liberty Bowl. It's 43 degrees. There's a wind out of the west at 7 miles an hour. And clear skies over Memphis as we look forward to the battle between Johnny Majors and his Vols of Tennessee. There's his career record. Of course, he is a Tennessee legend, having been an All-America there in 1956. And, of course, the coach for Minnesota, John Gutekunst, and he is in his first year, although he did coach Minnesota to a Independence Bowl victory last year against Clemson. So Coach Gutekunst is in his first full season as a head coach of the Golden Gophers. There are about 10,000 who have made the trip here from Minnesota for the game. About 20,000 across Tennessee have come to watch the Volunteers. So there's lots of maroon and lots of orange in this stadium tonight, and it's a sellout crowd. Tennessee will be kicking off. Minnesota on the receiving end as we get ready for this 28th annual Liberty Bowl game. Carlos Reveiz, and you will recognize that name because the Reveiz family has been kicking him at Tennessee now for the last 7 years or so. His brother Paud is the Miami Dolphin kicker, and he is here watching tonight as Reveiz out of Miami, Florida, will kick off. Donovan Small, Darrell Thompson, and Mel Anderson are back for Minnesota, and we're ready to get this football game underway. It's fielded at about the 23-yard line and returned to the 31. It was Kevin Wilson who brought it back, and it's first down for Minnesota, and here comes the offense for the Golden Gophers.
This is a very strong offensive team, mostly on the ground. Foggy, the option quarterback. Thompson, a guy to watch. Wilson, the fullback, is backed up by two great players. The flanker, Bruce, will be starting tonight. He's a speed burner. Otto, a solid tight end, not a great one. And Anderson, a good player. The offensive line, big, a little slow, as is the one in the Big Ten.
Mel Anderson is splitting wide to the right side. It'll be a first down at the 32-yard line of Minnesota. Foggy goes to Thompson, his tailback, who bangs out across the 35 to the 36. And he is pulled down there, and let's check the defensive unit now for Tennessee.
Incredible amount of injuries early in the year. They're back together. Scott may be the best of the bunch, but Hobby, a redshirt freshman, coming on strong, playing very well towards the end of the year. Kimbrough is a backup who's starting. Ziegler, the leading tackler. Dale Jones, the All-American, a great player. He'll do a lot tonight. Defensive secondary, speed burners. They got a lot of speed back there. Will give Minnesota trouble.
On 2nd and 6, Foggy goes to the run again. And once more it's Darrell Thompson, who gained 1,240 yards to lead the Big Ten. He is hit by Marion Hobby, number 90, as he gets to about the 37-yard line.
Extremely important that the Gophers run the ball early in this game. They are a running team. 5-3 in the Big Ten is pretty good, and that win against Michigan really stands tall in their record. But to win this game, they need to run the ball, control the ball, keep it away from the big play Tennessee offense.
Last play, a gain of 2. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Minnesota has 3 wideouts in the game. And Foggy gets hit as he lets it go, and it is incomplete. Good pressure put on by Tennessee. Charles Davis had the coverage on that pass pattern, and Foggy got belted pretty good.
We talked about Dale Jones. All he ever wanted to do, number 54, is play for Tennessee, and this is what he's doing right here. On the blitz, he gets picked off, but on the right side, you see the defensive back coming in, pressuring Foggy. He has to throw it away. Dale Jones, 6'2", 227. Got only 1 scholarship offer out of high school, but he is a truly great player. He'll go to the pros.
Brent Herbal is back to do the punting, and Charles Davis is back along with Thomas Woods for Tennessee. Herbal averaging 40.5 this year on his punts. Drills it downfield. Should get a return out of this, but the ball is fumbled. It is fumbled by Thomas Woods. He picks it up, gets back across the 20 to about the 23. So Tennessee will have possession for the first time in this ball game. A kick of 45 yards, a 5-yard return. Will return to the Liberty Bowl after this. The Volunteers of Tennessee take over at their own 22-yard line. They're sending the slot set up to the left, wide out to the right. Jeff Francis has Jim Miller as his fullback. He's going to go to the air in a hurry, and he flings one out to the 25-yard line to Anthony Miller. but that's about as far as he goes. So they get short yardage. Matt Martinez, number 7, the cornerback from Glendale, Arizona, had the coverage for Minnesota. Let's check the offense of the Volunteers.
And that gives you an idea of what Jeff Francis can do. A rocket arm, been banged up in the offensive backfield, but they're coming back. Your wide receivers, Clinkscales did not start. That was Miller out there who made that catch on that play. And the offensive line, very strong. Wilkerson, second-team All-SEC.
Cleveland goes into the slot right on second down, about 8. And Francis throwing on the run completes this one at the 30-yard line. Keith Davis coming out of the backfield picks up the first down. Steve Franklin, number 40, the strong safety, makes the tackle for Minnesota, and the Volunteers start to move it. Let's check the defense for Minnesota now.
Okay, front three for Minnesota. Big Ten guys. Gary Hatt is the best of the bunch. Burke a good player too. Hatt is a big play man at the nose guard. They'll need to get something out of him today. Linebackers, Holmes is the best of them. Deuce Babic, if I can pronounce his name, is a big play guy. These guys are slow, and they're going to have trouble with these receivers.
Francis throwing again, this time to Clinkscales on the near side at the 38. Not too much on that one. Joey Clinkscales, a senior from Knoxville, Tennessee. Spectacular hands. Charles McCree, number 3, the left cornerback, had the coverage on the play, and he is starting in place of Dwayne Dutrell, who was suspended from the team for disciplinary reasons. So McCree might be picked on a little bit here.
Well, he's a good cover guy, but they lost a tremendous amount of speed when Dutrell didn't make the trip, and speed is the one thing they need to cover these receivers.
Second down, and movement on the line. Now everybody starts pointing fingers at the other guy. The referee is Rod Daly. Offside against Minnesota.
Well, Minnesota's a little bit slow. I said that. It's a Big Ten team. This defense, while they played well at times, they did break down a little bit. Tonight's officials on the screen, and they're probably trying to get a little bit of a jump. They're aware that they're not as quick as Tennessee, and these guys are going to be really poised to get off the line. And, of course, Coach John Gutekunst, he understands the problem that he's facing, and Tennessee went right after that defensive secondary. Now they've thrown the ball 3 times already, so look out for them setting up that bomb.
Now Tennessee has 4 men that can fly, and believe me, Tennessee has had flyers over the years. They've got a lot of track stars on this football team. The handoff goes to Miller, the fullback. Miller gets out across the 45. He picks up the first down. They had about 2 yards to go, and he got plenty. Deuce Babic, number 59, the senior from Faribault, Minnesota, made the hit.
They've had problems in the offensive backfield. They've been injured the entire year, but they seem to be getting it together, winning their last 4 games and able to pick up a first down. But Minnesota helped them there with that penalty, made it second and very short, and that was a logical running down for them.
Anthony Miller is wide to the left. You keep thinking that Francis might be looking at him going long, and there goes Anthony Miller down the field, and he overshoots him at the end zone. Anthony Miller, who can really roll. He's the leading receiver for Tennessee with 667 yards, but a little bit overthrown.
Well, you don't really know if Tennessee expects to complete this pass or they're just trying to stretch the defense and let Minnesota know what they're up against. This kid threw it 55 yards in the air, needed to be thrown about 45 yards as Miller, as fast as he is, couldn't catch up. But that's going to put it in the defensive secondary's head. He can throw it that far, and they will go up on top. Scary on defense. 2nd and 10 on the 48 of Tennessee. Screen out to the left side, going to Davis, and Davis gets across midfield to about the 47 of the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Keith Davis from Nashville, Tennessee, a sophomore. Davis had a bad knee and then injured the other knee early in the year. He's one of the problems with the running game. He's only about 80%, and Coach Majors says that he may only be 80% for the rest of his career. Serious knee problems and serious problems in the Tennessee backfield has made them go to the passing game, and they're very adept at it. On 3rd down and 4 from the 46 of the Gophers. Francis maybe checking off to the line of scrimmage. And Francis connects at the 40-yard line to Clinkscales for the first down. Pretty good coverage by Matt Martinez, but Clinkscales is something else. They can't dare play these guys up tight. Now they have to stay back a little bit. Watch the timing on this play. Francis throws it right now. He turns around and bang, it's right in his hands. Great catch by Clinkscale and pretty good coverage. Now they can't play these guys tight. Minnesota would like to stay in a zone against guys like Clinkscale and Miller, but they're not going to be able to. If they play in that zone, Tennessee will kill them underneath, so they've got to disguise coverages and try and fool Francis, who for a sophomore is pretty smart.
Now Clinkscale splits to the left side, Anthony Miller to the right side, and Cleveland is in the slot right for Minnesota. Francis to his tailback. Charles Wilson, number 32, the junior from Pritchard, Alabama, getting his first carry of the night. Johnny Majors, a lot of confidence in his team. Boy, he really got these guys up for the second half of the season.
Well, he got him back for the second half of the season. Wilson, another one, had a broken forearm the first 2 games. He was out, another running back. And Johnny said, when I got my people back, my team started to play better, and that would fit. When you have all your players, your team generally will perform.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6 on the option. Bad pitch, but covered by Keith Davis. And the ball is recovered back at the 42-yard line, so Tennessee will take a loss on that one.
Now we're way up there, and I can't tell who it was, but somebody at the corner makes the play here for Minnesota. Just a great play. Here it is, number 20, causes Francis, who's not an option quarterback, to throw that ball a little bit before he wanted to. That was Larry Joyner, the outside linebacker, and that's a big play for the Minnesota defense.
Big play for Joyner. He comes from Memphis, went to Hamilton High School right here. On 3rd down, Francis with some time, goes to the outside. Clinkscales again. Clinkscales at the 25, 1st down Tennessee. A gain of 17 yards on the play. It was Charles McCree, the quarterback, who made the hit.
Well, remember, Dutrill is gone. He's their speed guy. Now McCree is their cover guy, number 3. Good blocking by the offensive line. Plenty of room here. Clinkscale just kills McCree, drives him way off. McCree's 10 yards back, and then he has to come back in. No pass rush. You can see 96 very slow for Minnesota on the pass rush. What an arm by Francis, and McCree making the good hit, but he's got to cover him closer.
Clinkscale, 3 catches, 29 yards. 1st and 10, 24-yard line of Minnesota. Anthony Miller covered quickly and really belted as he took that pass. Minnesota's Matt Martinez, the right cornerback, was right there on Anthony Miller. Let's see where they mark the ball. They'll get a few yards out of it. It'll be marked near the 20.
Martinez had a choice there, Merle. He had a choice whether he wanted to go for the ball carrier, the receiver, or step inside. He already has 4 interceptions, and he was a hair's breadth away. If he'd have taken an inside route, he might have gotten that ball. He was that close to the receiver.
And would he have been gone? He would have been in the other end zone by now.
Gone goose, gone gopher.
2nd down. Francis, the run to Keith Davis. Davis cuts inside behind Galbraith and Kirk, and he picks up a couple. He gets inside the 20. Bruce Holmes, number 88, the strong linebacker from Detroit, Michigan, making the stop for Minnesota. We have 8:13 to go in the first quarter. Merle Herman and Kevin Kiley with you for the 28th annual Liberty Bowl, a sellout crowd watching Tennessee and Minnesota. Minnesota trying to tough it up now on a 3rd down, a big 3rd down for the Vols of Tennessee. Francis hits the cookie, Clinkscale, and he's headed for the end zone. Touchdown. Joey Clinkscales, his 4th touchdown reception of the year, and Tennessee is on the scoreboard. And Reves for the extra point try. It is 7-0 Tennessee.
Cardinal error here by the defense. The sideline is your extra man. Watch Clinkscale. You have to take this thing inside out. You never let him get back. See that? You never let him get back inside. You've got to make sure of the tackle there. That was Martinez. He needed to be closer. Remember we talked about that? They have to be closer. Here, you see a good shot of it here. Clinkscale. Now watch Martinez. Gives him 5 yards. He's just too quick. He took a real bad angle on him. He let him turn outside, gave him too much room to the sideline, and he goes in. And Francis, the sophomore, never quarterbacked in a bowl game before. It's his first TD. And this means a lot to Tennessee. 5 straight if they win this one.
So the Volunteers are on top 7-0, and we'll be back after these messages from your local station. This is Sports Network. Majors and his Tennessee Vols drive 78 yards, 69 of those yards in the air as Francis went 8 out of 9 and the touchdown of 18 yards to Clinkscale.
They came right out, Merle, and they exploited what they think is the weakness of the Minnesota team, matching up against them, and that's the speed of the defensive secondary, and we saw a lot of examples of it. Great arm by Francis, just the velocity of the ball and the difference, the space between the receivers and the defensive backs is making it real tough on the Gophers. They need to get closer to those guys because the ball gets there in a hurry.
Minnesota will send Donovan Small and Mel Anderson back. Anderson is number 89. He's a spectacular return man. Carlos Reyes will kick off for Tennessee, the senior. And he pops it downfield. It'll come up a little bit on the short side, however, and is fielded on the 13-yard line. It is brought back by Kevin Wilson for the second time. He backed up to take that short kickoff, brought it to the 25, and Mike Kelly, 44, made the tackle.
I want you to watch the respect that Martinez gives Clinkscale on this thing and the velocity of the ball. Watch how hard Francis throws the ball. This is slow motion. Gives Clinkscale time to just move upfield, and poor tackling by the Minnesota defense, and he's in. Now they're just going to have to do a little bit better, stay a little bit closer to these receivers, or else they're going to have to get to Francis, one or the other.
Richardson is the up man in the eye. Roselle Richardson. Right behind him is Darrell Thompson, the freshman from Rochester, Minnesota. And right up the middle comes Roselle Richardson. He can really move it, and he does all the way to the 45-yard line. The one-time quarterback runs it for 20 yards before Terry Brown, the free safety, number 14, made the tackle.
Now remember, this is the Big Ten that Minnesota plays, and Hitchcock the center, and the 2 guards doing a great job. And here's Roselle Richardson, who's been fighting for his life just to start. Pretty good fullback. Minnesota does a lot of things on the ground, a lot of different looks, and they'll cause Tennessee some confusion, and the Volunteers will make some mistakes just on alignment.
1st and 10 on the 45 of Minnesota. Tennessee leading 7-0. Richardson gets the carry again. This time slips behind Wolkow, who's an outstanding blocking guard, number 57, and he picks up yardage to the 49, where Ziegler, Kelly Ziegler, number 49, the inside linebacker out of Miami, Florida, makes the hit.
Strength of the Minnesota team, the running game. Ray Hitchcock may be the best center, number 55, you watch him, that ever played for Minnesota, and they've had some great ones over the years. And this team can do a lot of things on the ground. They spend a tremendous amount of time on their running game.
It'll be 2nd down, 6 for Minnesota. Showing blitz, there it is. And on the option, Foggy gets that pitch, and here comes Thompson. Thompson all the way to the 30-yard line. Another big gainer, 21 yards for Thompson.
In order to make this thing work, they've got to handle Dale Jones. Or watch him on the outside here. Foggy, they've got a lineman out here. They hold him up. Foggy gets it to Thompson. Thompson knows what to do with it. That was a great block by number 78. That was Wilson, number 76, Wilson from Minnesota. Darrell Thompson, just a freshman, doing a good job.
At the 30-yard line. The run gets maybe a yard with Kevin Wilson, number 31, the fullback, carrying. Runs into Marion Hobby, number 90, the freshman from Irondale, Alabama. This is Francis, and he just got a call from home.
Yeah. Well, they could tell. He was 8 for 9. They're probably saying, Jeff, you should have been 9 for 9 on that one. Here's what happened.
Ron Getz is coming at fullback. Does that mean the wishbone now for Minnesota? Nope, it means the eye. You'll see Getz, the up man, in the wishbone many, many times. At the 29-yard line, 2nd down, 8. The tailback Thompson at the 25-yard line, brought down by Robbie Scott, 65, a 4-year regular from Decatur, Tennessee. Thompson, out of Rochester, Minnesota, a single-season rushing record, 1,240 yards, all Big Ten, newcomer of the year in the Big Ten, most valuable player for Minnesota, He received the Bronco Nagurski Award, the Bruce Smith Outstanding Offensive Player Award. That's just the beginning.
He had 205 yards in his first game ever out of high school. And with Getz in there, they're both high school freshmen.
3rd down 5. Foggy going to the end zone. It is incomplete. Mal Anderson had his hands on the football, couldn't quite hold on, and it's 4th down for the Golden Gophers.
That's Terry Brown back there. This is a pass that should not have been thrown. Foggy will go to his left. Brown is back there all the way. Now Anderson will get back there. Watch Brown, number 14. He's just waiting on the thing, and it's anybody's ball right there. Now Foggy not really a passing quarterback. They don't throw for a lot of yardage. 113, well, about not even 113. A game they pass for 120 yards a game. That's not much.
Chip Lohmiller going for a 42-yard field goal. It's going to be off target. It may have been partially blocked. I don't know. Lohmiller had kicked a 62-yard field goal to the Iowa game. And so Tennessee will hold the 7-0 lead as the Volunteers take over the football with 4 minutes and 43 seconds left to play in the first quarter. He touched the field goal attempt. Lohmeyer missing off to the right side. Tennessee takes over. Tennessee goes to the run from its own 25. And William Howard now in the ball game, an outstanding ball carrier, bangs his way out to the 34. This is a copyrighted presentation of Raycom Sports, and any use of these pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express consent of Raycom Sports is prohibited. William Howard, number 35 from Lima, Ohio. A 225-pound fullback. Got 8 on the play, 2nd down 2. Second man is Keith Davis coming out of the I, and he is at the 39, almost the 40-yard line. Deuce Bobick, 59, makes the tackle. It's a 1st down, Tennessee.
This Tennessee offensive line. Watch Bruin, the right guard here. Now watch, as Thompson takes an inside rush, watch Bruin. He's going to pin him down, and you know what's coming next. Little hook with that left arm. No call. Thompson helped him out. He went inside. Bruin really didn't need to do that. He just needed to seal him, and that blur that went by was the ball carrier.
Jeff Francis, the Tennessee quarterback, pumps once, and now is under a rush, comes back to the near side, completes it to Clinkscales, who was kind of a safety valve, I guess, in a way, because they only got about 2 yards at the 42-yard line. Mark Deuce Bobick, number 59, the senior from Faribault, Minnesota, out there to make the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Clinkscale, 5 catches, 49 yards, and a touchdown. And Francis is on the beam tonight, going 8 out of 9 in that previous touchdown drive.
Well, that pump you saw, they were trying to catch the Gopher defense coming up, but they're still playing deep, so there was nothing there. They were just running for their lives back deep.
Francis screens left. It's Davis out of the backfield, and the Gopher defense reacts very nicely at the 44-yard line, so they got only a couple on that one. Steve Franklin, the strong safety, number 40 from Groveland, Florida, made the tackle for Minnesota.
Well, from where we are, I'm about a mile up. This looks like a lateral. Davis here, that's behind him. It's a lateral. Now, the Gopher defense is there, drives him inside. Deuce Bobick gets blocked a little bit, but here come the rest of the guys. That's pretty good reaction. You can almost see the difference in the speed. The Gophers look very slow of foot, while Tennessee is kind of shifty, quick.
3rd down, long 5. Francis completes at midfield, and that is fumble recovered by Minnesota. It would have been a 1st down. We were looking for the mark. Charles Wilson was the man, and the ball was fumbled and turned over to the Minnesota Golden Gophers, who have great field position now at their own 49-yard line.
John Gutekunst talked about this. He said, well, we're not as quick as they are. Now, here's Holmes going back, looking. He said, if they catch the ball, we're going to try and break it loose. And that's the only thing we can do. And Holmes does it right there. And when you're slow, you're not too quick. The thing is, when you catch up with these little guys who can run, you got to make them pay and get that ball. That's what Holmes did. That's Big Ten football.
Big fumble recovery for linebacker Don Pollard. 1st and 10 at midfield. Foggy gets to the 49 of Minnesota. They strung him out pretty good. Something went wrong there. Robbie Scott, 65, winds up getting the tackle.
Yeah, they had a problem with the exchange. Now they run the inside veer, the outside veer. They run something called the freeze option, the wishbone. These guys run the ball, and Foggy has got to be able to work that ball in and out of the belly of his running backs. They got a little bit mixed up inside that time, and didn't have enough time to get outside. And the Tennessee defense, which is a lot quicker than the offense of Minnesota, was all over them. They've got to do better on the exchange.
Second down, 8. We have 2:13 to go in the first half. Foggy over the middle, completes it to Richardson. Coming out of the backfield, he is inside the 30, down to about the 27, and a first down for the Golden Gophers, a gain of 22.
This is a play that maybe Tennessee should have been looking for here. They almost get him early. The fullback up the middle on a pass pattern in the wishbone or the option offense is very tough to cover. That little play action is what did it. Here Foggy with time and good blocking there, and nobody's going to cover that guy if he can get loose on a pass pattern.
First down, 27-yard line of Tennessee. Less than 2 minutes to go in the first. Foggy goes to his fullback, Ron Getz. And Getz is smacked by Kelly Ziegler, 49, the inside linebacker. But he does get to the Tennessee 25, but that's it.
Ziegler's the leading tackler for this team. With all the fancy plays and everything, remember this, when you run option football, you have to establish that fullback. Minnesota's had a couple of runs here where they've broken it, but they need to pound it up, use that size advantage when they're slow, but they've got size and strength. They've got to establish that middle running game.
Keith DeLong is now coming as a linebacker for Tennessee. His daddy was Steve DeLong, the great All-America and the Outland Trophy winner. Richardson going no place. Maybe the line of scrimmage, and that's all.
That's the freeze option. The freeze option is a new offense where the tailback on the snap of the ball doesn't move. He just stays where he is, and the fullback dives. And I assume it's to freeze the defense. It's not doing that tonight. They're just reacting to the fullback going in the line.
John Gutekunst, the very popular head coach of the Golden Gophers, was the defensive coordinator for 2 years under Lou Holtz. When Holtz went to Notre Dame, Goody got the head job. Third down, long. Foggy may be checking off. And throws a diving reception at the 15-yard line by Jason Bruce. And that is a first down. Victor Peppers, number 8, there on the coverage, but a 10-yard pickup for Jason Bruce from Eagan, Minnesota.
Well, he's the one guy, and the reason he's in there, he's starting, is because he's the one guy that can run with that defensive backfield. The guy's got a lot of speed. State champ, Minnesota in high school, the 100 and 200 meters in 1983 and 84. He's a quick guy, and he's a guy who can maybe put the defense on the defensive a little bit. He did there for a first down. They've
let the clock run down. It is out, and the first quarter has come to an end at the 28th Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Tennessee. The Volunteers of Tennessee lead the Gophers 7-0. We'll be back after these messages from your local station on the Raycom Sports Network. Travel arrangements made through Eastern Airlines, serving over 140 cities in 23 countries, plus one Magic Kingdom. Eastern, the leader in service to all the Americas. Merle Herman and Kevin Kiley with you in Memphis, Tennessee. Tennessee leading 7-0. Here's a comparison of the yardage for the first quarter. Time of possession, 7:25 for Minnesota, 7:35 for Tennessee. Right now it's Minnesota's possession on the Tennessee 15 with a first down. And Foggy finally pitches, but there's nothing left for Thompson except to go out of bounds. And it was Dale Jones, number 54 from Cleveland, Tennessee, the outstanding linebacker, all Southeastern Conference selection, who shoved him out of bounds for a yard loss. It'll be 2nd and 11.
Well, that was that freeze option again into the short side of the field. They tried to run to the weak side of the defense, and what Foggy will do, he'll come out and he'll count the people on either side. There's 11 guys. He'll count the side that has 6, which will usually be the wide side. They run into the boundary, but Tennessee's defense was there.
Gary Couch is in as a wideout now for Minnesota. 2nd down, 11. The tailback, Darrell Thompson. And Thompson is inside the 15, but stopped near the 13. It was Brian Hunt, number 74, the middle guard for Tennessee, who comes from DeSoto, Texas. There on the hit.
First down so important for Minnesota because they're a running team. The Gophers have to get some yardage. They didn't there. And even though Thompson on the first down, even though Thompson on the second down put his head down, remember, a year out of high school, put his head down and plowed in there, he still couldn't pick up much yardage. They need 9.
Jason Bruce is in. Mel Anderson is in as wideouts for Minnesota. Foggy screen to the left. Ooh, he almost threw that ball into the hands of a Tennessee defender. Marion Hobby having a rush on Roselle Richardson, number 11. The man for whom the pass is intended. Dale Jones very active, number 54, and he'll be very active all night. It is 4th down. But there was a flag in the play.
Power football failing for Minnesota, and that could be a disaster. When they have to go to finesse plays like screens, they're going to be in trouble.
Tennessee draws a penalty. John Majors is furious. Johnny says, hey, wait a minute. Johnny in 1956 was a runner-up for the Heisman Trophy. He was an All-America tailback at Tennessee. And remember the guy that won it that year? If Paul Horning's watching tonight, he remembers.
I know Johnny remembers.
They have an unsportsmanlike conduct call against Tennessee, and that'll be a 4th down as the ball is spotted. Let's see where it. Now they're still discussing it down there. The officials. This officiating crew is from the Atlantic Coast Conference, by the way. The entire crew will be 4th down and 2, and Minnesota goes to the wishbone.
Big test for the Gophers. These are plays they have to convert. They've got the strength, they've got the weight, they got to make it go.
And the officials call timeout. In that wishbone, Roselle Richardson, number 11, Darrell Thompson, number 39, and Ed Penn, number 24. The Minnesota Golden Gophers said they could not hear the signals, and the officials asked for a timeout for themselves.
That's not going to quiet down the crowd. I don't know that Johnny was mad because of the call or because one of his players actually did that. You shouldn't do anything that's even close in a situation close to your own goal line, close to a personal foul.
Again, the wishbone, 4th and 2, Minnesota. Foggy says, hey, I can't hear. Nobody can hear. So now the referee, Rod Daly, is going to the defensive captain, Kelly Ziegler of Tennessee, and one of the other officials going over to talk to Coach Johnny Majors to ask him to please quiet the crowd.
Well, the first time they asked for a timeout, the official has to give it to him. The second time, it's up to the official's judgment whether or not he should get it or not. They don't have to give him a timeout after that.
Johnny is asking the 20,000+ Tennessee fans who made the trip from Knoxville and other areas of Tennessee, plus lots and lots of Tennessee fans in the western part of Tennessee here. This will be the 9th play of the drive, which started on the Minnesota 49 after the fumble recovery. Minnesota has the ball at the 7-yard line, or just inside the 7 in Tennessee territory.
And this is critical. They could go on movement, Minnesota. They could call it on movement on the snap of the ball, but it'd be a big disadvantage for them. Knowing the snap count, be able to call it is a tremendous advantage.
Quarterback sneak. I don't think he made it. Tennessee takes over as the Gophers did not get the first down, and will return to the Liberty Bowl after this. Tennessee, after stopping Minnesota at the Tennessee 5, takes over. The running backs are Miller and Howard. And it's William Howard banging his way right up the middle. See him wrap those arms around that football to get out to the 10-yard line. John Leverens, number 56, the linebacker from Ankeny, Iowa. The freshman makes the tackle.
Well, if you're playing defense here, most college teams don't like to throw down the middle of the field deep in their own territory. You can shade it to the outside for the pass. You want to get them into a passing situation and play that run. Kind of lay off the middle of the defense.
Tennessee, second down, about 7, just shy of the Tennessee 10. Howard on the pitch, and Minnesota's defense stops him. Very little, if anything, on that one.
Well, that's what they're doing. See, the Gophers are smart. They've been around. They're a little older now. You know, these teams that are 6-5 and they come on at the end of the year, it's because they mature and they learn the game. And you sit out there and you think between downs. You say, well, let's see, where are they on the field? What's the down and distance? They have the lead. They don't want to give it back in one play. You play that run down here. You make sure. And now you play high percentage passes. Passes to the backs and to the sideline. Something that the quarterback is not going to put the ball in jeopardy.
3rd down, 5. Minnesota showing blitz, and now back it off, and Francis, here comes the blitz from the outside. Francis is going to be hit from behind by the blitzer who was coming from the secondary.
That was Joyner, Larry Joyner. Another big play for Larry Joyner. And good play and good series for the Minnesota defense.
We'll be bringing you tonight's halftime statistics courtesy of Visa. That'll be coming up at halftime. The Visa halftime statistics. Visa, everywhere you want to be.
See, even though Minnesota didn't get that first down, they got field position and they cut down the options for the Tennessee offense. They weren't as wide open, and the Gophers were able to stop and force a punt.
Roselle Richardson back for Bob Garman's punt, the junior from Birmingham, Alabama. Pops it downfield. Minnesota's going to have great field position out of this. Richardson, 45, trying to come back to the near side now. There are no blockers out there for him. He loses about 5 yards. Back to the midfield stripe. So it's 11:32 to go in the first half. A 36-yard kick, a 2-yard return. Back after these messages from your local station on the Raycom Sports Network. Minnesota takes over just about where the last Minnesota possession originated, on the 49-yard line of Tennessee, and the Gophers gave it up on the Tennessee 5. So here comes Ricky Foggy and company. Richardson, the fullback, Thompson, the tailback. Foggy down to the 40, gets inside the 40 for a first down. So Foggy, who picked up 349 yards on the ground this year, got 10 on that carry. Victor Peppers, number 8, from Albany, New York, the tackler for Tennessee.
Double team on the All-American, number 54, Jones. You're going to see Norris Wilson and Anderson. Now watch him ride him outside. Jones is doing the right thing. He's holding it up, and there's no help inside. See Foggy getting downfield. Jones misses the tackle. But where's the rest of the orange shirts? The inside pursuit. He did what he was supposed to do, even though he was double teamed. Yet Minnesota made a play out of it. The rest of the team's got to react up inside.
On the 39-yard line of the Vols, Minnesota with a first down. Ray Hitchcock, the all Big Ten center, up over the ball. Richardson, again the fullback. Richardson slides behind Paul Anderson and Hitchcock for short yardage near the 35, where Fred Bennett, number 95, who's now playing the middle guard spot for Tennessee, makes the hit. Ricky Foggy from Waterloo, South Carolina, only a junior, passed for 1,265 yards during the regular season, hitting 46% of his passes, and ran for 349 yards. He threw 8 touchdown passes, scored 7 on the ground himself. 2nd and 7, Minnesota. Wishbone. Richardson, the up man. Blitz showing, not coming. Nice defensive work. And Tennessee tried to shake the ball loose.
That was a fumble. That guy was separated from the ball, and it will be Tennessee's ball. Tremendous hit on the near sideline.
And I think it was Terry McDaniel who did recover it. We'll be back after this. 7-0 Tennessee after Terry McDaniel recovered that fumble. It'll be first down on the Tennessee 35. Francis and a problem. And the problem is number 20, Larry Joyner, who is showing the home folks from Hamilton High School here in Memphis what he can do.
Larry's becoming quite a problem, but Tennessee caused a problem of their own here on defense. There's a blitz up the middle. Foggy takes it outside. Now watch, good pitch here, but watch the Tennessee defense. All the orange shirts here on Thompson. Look at this hit. Boom. Ball's loose. McDaniel, that's pretty good reflexes there. I don't want to know what a defensive back's doing with number 86.
Tell you what, McDaniel is one of the fastest athletes in America. And had he been able to get a step or two, it would have been see you later. 2nd down and long. throws incomplete at the 43-yard line. This time the intended receiver, Thomas Woods, number 5 from Gallatin, Tennessee.
That was only Thompson's second fumble that he's lost in 225 carries. Remember, high school a year ago. I'm talking about the Minnesota tailback who just fumbled. And that wasn't so much a fumble as he was separated from the ball by a great defensive play.
You know, I haven't seen any pennants here tonight from Gatlinburg, Tennessee, the home of the famous Zeno Wall. Got to be out there somewhere. Francis hands off to Davis, and again the Minnesota defense reacts. This time Deuce Bobick, number 59, the drop linebacker, on the outside, and it'll be 4th down for the Volunteers.
Well, you go back to that series now. 1st down, Minnesota dropped Francis for a loss. Field position was not that good. They get a little conservative. They tried the sideline pattern, didn't want to go down the middle of the field, and then a little running play on 3rd down. Tennessee just a little bit conservative in their own territory. They need field position to open it up. Minnesota denying it. On 4th down at almost 16, Garmin will punt it away, and it'll be Roselle Richardson back deep for the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. Garmin sends it high. The coverage is down there, but Richardson takes it on his own 28 and is dumped on the 31. A 43-yard kick, a 3-yard return, and with 8:41 to go in the first half here at the 28th annual Liberty Bowl, Tennessee 7, Minnesota nothing. Take over at their own 32. On the last drive, they fumbled the ball away. On the previous drive, Tennessee stopped them on the 5-yard line. On the Tennessee 5. Foggy at quarterback for the Gophers. The tailback, Darrell Thompson. And this freshman bulks his way out to the 45-yard line, getting 13 yards on the play before Andre Kramer, number 1 from Baltimore, Maryland, can make the hit. Okay, we're playing defense. Hitchcock and walk out the guard. Watch this thing open up. It's a freeze option, little hesitation, and now you see what the freshman can do in the open field. The guy's big, too, over 200 pounds, and he can run like a deer. Thompson, 8 carries, 47 yards so far. First down to the Minnesota 45. Trying to figure out what I would do if I was playing against a freeze option and he didn't move. I guess I wouldn't move, make me a sit and duck for the offense. Mel Anderson is split out wide to the left. They put a slot man to the left. And a fumble in Tennessee, I believe, fell on the football. The Volunteers take over it again on the fumble. Dale Jones, the All-American, 54, falls on the Richardson fumble, and the Volunteers have it. All-Americans always have a nose for the football, but this is the exchange. Foggy, all this time off is really not that great for an option team. They need to get the hang of it. Watch the exchange. He never gets it to Richardson. Drops it right there. And Dale Jones, chasing, looking for a tackle, comes up with the ball just instead. Now remember, Tennessee, poor field position earlier. They've got it now. They can open it up. Minnesota 2 turnovers, Tennessee 1. First down on the 46-yard line of Minnesota. Francis to his fullback. It was William Howard, and Howard down to the 40. Howard plays both the tailback and the fullback spot. Anthony Burke, 95, the right tackle from Minnetonka, Minnesota, on the tackle. Howard, they've got 21 rushing TDs this year. Howard has 14 of them. He's a power back. He was banged up all year, too, but he was second team all-conference, and he was the leading rusher on the team with almost 800 yards. He's a good, solid back. And the leading scorer in the conference with 86 points. Second down 4. Keith Davis. Davis keeps fighting, and I think he has the first down. It looks like they'll mark the ball on the 35. Steve Thompson, 96, from Aurora, Illinois, the left tackle on the hit. Nice effort by Davis. Remember, 2 bad knees. He had some ligament surgery earlier, has another banged up knee, but it keeps it going. Good balance, driving for that first down. Now Holmes, the linebacker, the inside linebacker, 88's got to make that play. Got to keep that guy off his legs. Giving up ground like that, that's too much. See, he gets to the ball, but it's too late. He needs to get up into that block before the guy gets to his legs. Joey Clinkscale splits wide out to the right. Francis running and throwing that way, incomplete. Keith Davis was the target. He was out of the backfield. Boy, Joyner did a great job on that play. Joyner again putting on pressure. Keith Davis is a guy who can do a lot of things. You know, he can run and he can catch passes equally. He's a great athlete. They expected a great deal out of this guy. but injuries have held him back. He's only rushed for 293 yards this year. Got a ways to go, though, just a sophomore.
6 minutes, 59 seconds to go in the first half. The Vols lead the Golden Gophers of Minnesota 7-0 here in Memphis, Tennessee. Second down, 10 on the 35 of the Golden Gophers. William Howard right up John Bruin's back along with Bruce Wilkerson. Boy, they can really block on that side. Bruce Holmes, 88, the strong linebacker, makes the tackle. Stay tuned to the end of tonight's game when we'll be picking the Hayes Microcomputers Player of the Game. That's the Hayes Player of the Game at the end of tonight's telecast. Hayes Microcomputers. Say yes to the future with Hayes. One setback for Tennessee on 3rd down and 6. And again, movement on the line as it appeared.
They changed the cadence.
They did, and
it's the defense. They changed the cadence, and you have to look for that defensively. Yeah.
It looked like Holmes was coming on a blitz.
Well, see what they did. They had him all gunned up to stop him on 3rd down, and he changes the cadence. And you just gotta. You gotta watch the quarterback. We'll see if we can pick it up on his head. But undoubtedly, what he did is they've been going on the same number, and he just changed it up. Here's Francis. Let's see, whatever he did, he got a great response from 3 guys on the line of scrimmage, and you have to look for that, and that's experience defensively. You've just got to be aware of the down and distance and listen, wait a little longer. 3rd and short, about 1.5 yards. The tailback. 1st down. That's William Howard, number 35 from Lima, Ohio. And it's 1st and 10 for the Volunteers of Tennessee on the 23-yard line of Minnesota. Well, great blocking at the point of attack. Watch the middle of this thing open up, and he's going to make this little cutback right there, back across the center and the guard, and kind of looked like he tripped over his own feet or he was gone. Tennessee, early success with the passing game, now using William Howard and the other running backs to run the ball. Howard, 6 carries, 27 yards. Francis wants to go airborne. He gets popped by Joyner just as he released the ball. Klink scales the intended receiver. And Joyner, the outside linebacker, was coming. He's the rush linebacker. And he and Joyner are going to be fast friends here. Francis and Joyner, by the time this thing is through, Joyner looks like he's freed up, and he's just coming on every play. He's a force man if they roll that way. And he's spending a lot of time in Francis's face. And it was good coverage, too, because he wanted to go right away to the slant man. He was covered when he waited. Joyner got to him, and he had to throw it away. 2nd and 10 on the 23 of Minnesota. Francis fakes left, throws, screen to the right side. Goes to William Howard. Howard is wide open. Touchdown for the Tennessee Vols. There was a flag dropped. Let's see if the play stands. Face mask against Minnesota, the touchdown stand. Howard, 23 yards. So Tennessee is now leading 13-0. 5:27 to go in the first half. Carlos Reveiz will go for the extra point. Reveiz, 26 out of 27 so far this year. His holder is Randy Sanders. And Reveiz, a native of Columbia, grew up in Miami, puts it through the uprights. And the Volunteers are on top, 14-0. Well, they had Minnesota going. Minnesota coming out of the ground, if you'll pardon the expression. The Gophers, it's a fake screen this way. There it is. Good blocking, a little pushing from behind. And then what a run here. Watch the cut right there. Bang, William Howard, he's in untouched. And somebody somewhere grabbed the face mask. Again, the thing that gets him going here, Uspavic thinks it's coming this way. See 59 run out of the picture, and now Howard just outruns the defense. Missed tackle there and closes inside. A good call against a team that's trying to stop you to get to the goal line. They're very aggressive defensively. You turn that against them, run a screen, bang, you're in.
So Tennessee taking advantage of the turnover. 46 yards, 7 plays for the touchdown. Back after this message from your local station on the Raycom Sports Network. Merle Herman and Kevin Kiley with you, and that's William Howard, the Lima, Ohio native, who just scored that touchdown on a 23-yard run. So the Golden Gophers' bobbles have really hurt him.
Well, position there, too. Field position played a big part. They took that thing over close to the 50-yard line. 7 plays, 46 yards. Is that what it was? 46 yards, just a few minutes. Tennessee, a field position team. You're really in trouble defensively if you let them diversify offensively. And when they get field position, they can do anything. Run wide, run inside, or toss the ball up, and they do all of those things pretty well. Now they've got their injured people back. I think you see in the real Tennessee team tonight, the team that had they not been injured, they'd have been a lot stronger throughout the year.
Carlos Gervais has the ball teed up, sends it across the field, and it'll be taken at about the 13-yard line by Mel Anderson. And Anderson, trying to avoid orange shirts, can't do it. Boy, they are swarming and gang tackling, and that's part of the Johnny Majors philosophy.
Kicking game very important when you cover a kick, and I've covered a few kicks in my time. Fortunately, not anymore.
That.
Yeah, you got that. He's fast, isn't he? See how quick he kicked that ball? You got to stay in position here, especially when it's on this side of the field. You break down, bend your knees, stay in position. And watch Mike Kelly. Mike Kelly, the headhunter in there, chased him down, surrounding him. When you have a speed burner like that, you want to surround him, and that's what Tennessee did. Covered him in arm. 1st
and 10 on the 20-yard line for Minnesota. The Gophers need a big play. They need to get rolling here. And Foggy gives off to his fullback, Roselle Richardson, and Richardson moves about 3, possibly 4, and runs into Dale Jones, number 54. We keep calling his name, and that's because he's making a lot of tackles tonight.
When you have a wishbone or an option team that's ground-oriented, like Minnesota, you get to 5 minutes in the second quarter with halftime coming up here. 5 minutes is not a tremendous amount of time. They have to be real careful. 30 seconds of play, and they need to maybe diversify a little bit, get outside.
2nd down, 6 near the 25. Anderson split wide to the right. Blitz showing by Tennessee, and the run comes up the middle of Darrell Thompson. And Thompson moves near the 29. He's close to a 1st down. A little bit short, it appears. It was Keith DeLong, 33, and they're on the tackle.
Well, you don't always have to make the tackle. You know, a lot of times you want to turn the ball in. Here's Jones, 54. He has contained. See how he catches the block? That's a J block. And that was his job, to catch that block by Richardson, hold his ground, not let Thompson outside. They force him back inside to his defense and makes the play. So he doesn't make the tackle, but he makes the play.
3rd down 1 on 3rd down conversions. Minnesota's 1 out of 4. Foggy hit behind the line, makes his pitch, and a struggle for the 1st down on the sideline by Darrell Thompson. He saw the marker, Dale Jones saw the marker, and they were really bouting each other as Thompson tried to get the 1st down.
Tough fucking luck.
It's not going to be a tough measurement because the play ended right at the sticks. 1st down, Minnesota.
The thing that impresses them about Thompson, of course, Foggy, the athletic part of what Foggy does here. Watch number 14 get the ball to him. But they say as a freshman, watch him put his head down. This is what he does that really makes him great. He puts his head down, runs over the All-American Jones for a 1st down, and he's only a year out of high school, 204 pounds. 3-4 years from now, that kid will be 225, still putting his head down with a lot of experience.
Ricky Foggy takes a timeout with 3 minutes 57 seconds left to go in the 1st half. And the Gophers score on this drive. They trail 14-0. Be sure to stay with us at halftime for the spectacular halftime show. I didn't think they could top last year's, but we've seen the rehearsals, and they've topped it. It is really something, and you'll see it on Raycom. Foggy hit behind the line, dragged down. And again, it seemed like there was something wrong there.
The exchange, Merle, very sloppy inside. The lineman, there's not too many people in there. I mean, there is too many people in there. Watch this thing. It's just slow. See how the lineman got backed up? Tennessee all over the field. DeLong coming in, making a play. And that's great team defense. And one thing Johnny Majors said, Keith DeLong, linebacker there, just a sophomore, a lot of young people. One thing he said was that his defense has improved weekly, and they hit every single day in practice before the Liberty Bowl. They're ready for this.
Second down, about 14. Foggy to throw. Look out. He is hit behind the line again for another loss as the Tennessee defense really gets tough. And it was Darren Miller, 45, the inside linebacker, who had help from Charles Davis, the defensive back.
Very quick. Tennessee maybe a little too quick at this point for Minnesota. Here they come. They're bringing a lot of people, and Foggy, although he's a scrambler, there's no way he's getting away from this thing. There's just too many people, and they surround him. They keep their leverage. And Foggy maybe needs to react a little bit. Part of his responsibility is to throw the ball away when he feels the pressure so that he doesn't take a sack. The wishbone team, option team doesn't want to have this kind of distance to go.
After that loss, 3rd and 18, the inside pitch. That's a forward pass. Richardson coming up the middle, and Richardson can really move it down the sideline. Tennessee territory, out of bounds on the 33-yard line. Well, Minnesota does indeed come up with a big play.
This is a shuffle pass. It's not a screen. If I'm playing defense, I'm looking for screen or draw, but maybe not this. Watch Thompson here. It's a fake to Thompson. They get him going that way. Now watch this. See, everybody's chasing him, and what it is, it's a shuffle pass. DeLong sees it, but he's too late, and he's picked off. Here you're going to see it. Great little shuffle pass, a tremendous call to the fullback, and he's down the field.
For 44 yards, and Thompson is down to the 25-yard line before Fred Bennett can stop him, number 95, and he gets almost 8 yards on that carry. 1:52 seconds remaining in the first half.
The thing about that play that makes it so difficult to defense is that the ball is only in the air a split second. It's a 2-yard flip, and he's turned upfield and down. In a screen, you can see it develop. A shuffle pass like that, it's almost like a naked reverse. There's no blocking. It's just they catch you out of position, they screen you out of the way. Great play, great call by Minnesota.
3rd down 2. Foggy is going to run it, and Foggy is going nowhere, and 1:25 and the clock running. Marriott Hobby, number 90, there on the tackle. Minnesota, 2 timeouts remaining.
And the thing I notice about Foggy is he's tall and lean, and he's getting caught in a stand-up position all the time. When he makes a decision, and he may have to make a decision a little sooner, he's got to get a little bit lower. He's not getting any yardage when he decides he wants to run. They're catching him standing up and turning him over on his back. He needs to get a little lower and plow forward.
3rd down 3. Foggy running for the first down, puts his shoulder down, and the flag is dropped. He'll be close to the first down as the play stands. Fred Bennett, the middle guard, made the tackle again for Tennessee. 44 seconds left to go in the first half. Defensive holding against the Vols.
And Foggy wanted to throw it. No wonder he couldn't throw it. Guys were being held. I don't know why the Tennessee would be holding him with all his speed. Watch him. He's a little bit hesitant here, though. He wants to throw it, and nobody's open. Now, I want to watch the position he's in when he gets hit. Look at the shots he's taking. He's 6'1". He's too tall and too thin to be standing that straight up. He's got to learn to protect himself. He's not getting a lot of yardage. He's taking a beating, too. It'll be a first down because of the penalty, but not going to be around very long. He's got stress fractures in both legs to begin with, and unless he wants his fractures to start moving up a little bit, he's going to have to protect himself.
First down on the 14-yard line of the Volunteers. 37 seconds and the clock running. Minnesota still has 2 timeouts. Now it's 30 seconds to go. This play is taking a long time. Foggy throws for the end zone. It is almost intercepted. It was intended for Mel Anderson. Terry McDaniel, who used to be a wideout himself, but who has great hands and had recovered a fumble in midair earlier, just about picked that one off of the end zone. The clock is stopped with 21 seconds remaining.
Of all the people to throw against, McDaniel, he was on the SEC champion 400-meter relay team. He gets there before the receiver does. Look how quick he is. He looks like he's the receiver, and he almost is. Anderson had no chance. If they're going to throw this thing, they ought to throw it to the other side away from McDaniel. He's too quick, and when you loft the ball, he's going to get under it. He's so fast. That pass, it's just kind of an arc pass. He'll run right under that thing, and he did.
Second down, and now Minnesota takes its second timeout of the game. Of this half, anyway.
They've done nothing with the tight end. I got to believe with the wideouts, they may be able to isolate a linebacker who maybe isn't as quick as some of these defensive backs. Half these guys are track guys. They got to go to their tight end or that fullback. Remember the fullback up the middle, Merle, early in the game where they got him free? They need to get a wing out there or somebody and get him across the middle and try and hit him quick.
John Gutekunst and his staff on the sideline. John's a native of Sellersville, Pennsylvania. Graduated from Duke with a degree in religion. Johnny Majors, graduate of the University of Tennessee. First head coaching job, Iowa State, then to Pittsburgh, where he recruited Tony Dorsett. And went on to win the national championship and Coach of the Year honors.
Twice.
Yes.
Twice at Pittsburgh. Great stories. We spent quite some time with him this morning. Great stories about his dad, Shirley, and the coaching in the state of Tennessee, and how his dad was a pioneer in coaching football. Comes from a football family.
You know, out of Johnny Majors' era as a collegian came Paul Giel. Paul Giel a little bit earlier. He's the athletic director at Minnesota. Paul was a runner-up for the Heisman Trophy in 1953. Majors the runner-up in 1956. They both played single wing, tailback.
I played single wing. I did in high school. Played single wing. I wouldn't catch it though. I didn't want to catch it. I kept looking over the line at the defense, and when they hiked it to me, I just jump out of the way.
Second and 10 inside the 15 of Tennessee. 21 seconds to go in the first half. 14-0 Vols. Thompson down to the 10, and there are 16 seconds remaining.
Go, Rick!
Ziegler made the tackle, and Minnesota takes its last timeout.
It's an excellent call, and they need some points here. And with second down, they have time for one more play, and I've got to believe if they don't get in, or they don't have time for two more plays after this play, that they'll have to kick a field goal. They don't want to go in shut out. That play, I think they tried to get Thompson free. They need to roll something out, give him an option, maybe some kind of a flood pattern, and try to get somebody isolated on a slower player, a player that's less likely to react quickly. And of course, Minnesota a little bit slow of foot. They've got to match up against a slower defensive player.
Thompson has carried 12 times for 26 yards. I beg your pardon, 65 yards. A little bit short for him. Minnesota with a 6-5 record, 5-3 in the Big Ten, tied for third place with Iowa in the Big Ten. Minnesota beat Bowling Green, Purdue, Northwestern Indiana, Wisconsin, upset Rose Bowl bound Michigan 20-17. Wolverines only lost this year. Then Minnesota lost to Oklahoma, University of Pacific, Ohio State, Michigan State, and Iowa. Losing to Iowa after they thought the game was over. Penalty on the last play of the game gave Iowa another chance after missing a tying or a winning field goal, and sure enough, for the second try, Iowa won it. Foggy throws for the touchdown, incomplete. 11 seconds to go. Mel Anderson, number 89, from Homestead, Pennsylvania, the receiver.
Well, they're still going to the wideouts, and the wideouts are covered. And Foggy, no time to even get set here. Look at Jones on Thompson. A little bit of pressure. Foggy just winging that thing, and the coverage is there. Now, I still say a drag pattern to the tight end or something on the inside. They'd have a lot better chance. And forget the play action. Just get back there and toss the thing up.
Chip Lohmeyer, you see what he has done in field goals, but this guy can really boom. This will be a 27-yard effort, so it's a chip shot for him. And Lohmeyer puts Minnesota on the scoreboard with a 27-yarder with 8 seconds to go in the first half.
Well, they had some time for another play. I'm surprised they went for the field goal, but they did get their 3, and at least they made the drive. That's the second time they've been deep in Tennessee territory, and they got some points, and that'll do them some good in the second half.
So Chip Lohmiller has, well, his field goal, a 21-yarder, beat Indiana with 2 seconds left. His 30-yarder beat Michigan with no time left. And Lohmiller gets Minnesota on the scoreboard now with 8 seconds left in the first half. But it's Tennessee 14-3. Again, we want to remind you to stay tuned for the halftime show. If you saw the Liberty Bowl halftime show last year, remember all the laser lights and what a spectacular show it was? We have seen the rehearsals for this show, which has been in production for many months. and it is really something, and Raycom will bring it to you at halftime, and we know you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, the football game is really just part of this. Great luncheon and tremendous things that go all around the Liberty Bowl. Merle and I and the rest of the crew have been here for a couple of days, and people here are just great. This is a tremendous event.
Lo Miller kicks it off. Ground ball right down the middle. To be returned by Tennessee. 5 seconds left. And the ball is fumbled, kicked around. No seconds left on the clock. Recovered by Tennessee, but the first half is over. So that's the end of the first half. The Volunteers of Tennessee lead the Minnesota Golden Gophers by a score of 14-3.
Well, the thing, I thought that Minnesota would go for another play before the field goal. They didn't. Tennessee has one more offensive play, and they want to make the most of it. If this ball's caught in the air and gone the other way, Minnesota might have made the most of it. That's one thing you don't want to do when you're down, running the ball back at the end of the half. Just lay down. Whatever you do, don't give it up.
Well, Anthony Miller, who can really fly, on his way. Ball bobbled. Johnny Majors not walking off the field in any great haste as he gets ready to go to the dressing room to contemplate what he will talk to his players about.
Over column, that one turnover on the 50-yard line by Minnesota led to a Tennessee touchdown. The passing, 3 for 8, 12 for 16 for Tennessee, but remember, 8 for 9 on the first series, so they weren't really that effective. Surprisingly, Minnesota has outgained Tennessee, but they've been twice deep in Tennessee territory, only converting for 1 field goal. So the Volunteer defense is bent, but they haven't broken. And something that's not up there, Minnesota has run 13 times on first down and passed only once. They'll have to do something differently in the second half.
Tennessee has been fortunate in one area, though, Kevin. They fumbled 4 times, lost only 1, but Minnesota lost both of theirs.
Yeah, that'll happen with an option because you're so spread out. And if you miss a pitch or you drop the ball right by the nose guard, he'll pick it up. And that's what happened. Possessions, as you can see, Minnesota today not real successful. The Tennessee, the one where they started on the Tennessee 49 was a cruncher. They fumbled the ball, 3 downs, and they fumbled it. Their own 32, they fumbled it again. They have been moving the ball, as evidenced by the statistics, but they're just going to have to get in the end zone. And an option team, again, when they get down towards the end zone, you stack that defense, makes it a little bit more difficult if you don't throw the ball well. And Minnesota definitely not a superb passing team. They're adequate, but not great.
And that's tonight's Visa halftime statistics. Merle Harmon with Kevin Kiley. We hope you enjoyed that spectacular halftime show. And Bud Dudley, the founder and executive director of the Liberty Bowl, has done it again. And our thanks to the Liberty Bowl Festival Association for all the wonderful activities that we have been able to enjoy while we have been here in this beautiful city. It'll be Anthony Miller back to take the kickoff. Chip Lo Miller, the junior from Woodbury, Minnesota, ready to put his foot in the ball, and does, and hits a line drive shot that will roll back into the end zone, be down there, and brought to the 20-yard line where Tennessee will take over. Tennessee leading it by a score of 14-3. What about the adjustments by each team in this half, Kevin?
Well, I think Minnesota made their adjustments in that second quarter and did a pretty good job against the Tennessee offense. I think you'll see in passing situations 5 defensive backs. We'll try to pick them up for you as they come in. And a little more aggressive line play by Minnesota worked out very, very well. It was the turnover that gave them field position, gave Tennessee field position, that really hurt them. The Minnesota offense, I believe they're going to have to get Ricky Foggy loose a little bit, pass on first down, open it up just a bit.
Jeff Francis at quarterback for Tennessee, the sophomore from Mount Prospect, Illinois. Up in the Chicago area, throws on first down to open the second half, and he's got a wideout, Joey Clinkscale, off the sideline, but I believe they're going to mark the ball out of bounds at about the 28.
Well, we got the same problem. The one Clinkscale scored on this play, and it was the same type of pattern, a little hitch pattern. Francis gets it out there in a hurry. And look at this. See how McKee, the defensive back, he's taking kind of a loop in there instead of coming right up and driving him out of bounds. He can't surround him. He's got to tackle him. If he gets loose down the sideline, he's gone. Clinkscale outrun any defensive back they have.
2nd down and 2 after a pickup of 8. Francis goes to his tailback. That's Keith Davis. And Davis gets the first down out to about the 34-yard line.
Davis is the guy we said had knee injuries in both knees. He's just coming back. You can see the brace on the right knee. Look at the balance on this guy. Making those cuts, not terribly fast anymore, but able to keep his balance, pick the holes, and get upfield. 5 rushes, 21 yards. He's had a pretty good game.
First and 10 for the Volunteers, who lead it 14-3. Again, Tennessee goes to the run. Davis, who has averaged 5.1 yards per carry throughout the year, is brought down at about the 35, so he doesn't get much there.
That's good defense by Minnesota. I think there's a penalty flag down on that, Merle. There's a little bit of holding there. That'll happen, you know. Remember I said that Minnesota is a little bit heavier. They're slower, but they've got strength. They're a Big Ten team, real heavy on the weights, while Tennessee is a quicker team, an SEC team. And as the game goes on, those lighter guys, if they get tired, they're gonna start holding, and they're not going to be able to hold their blocks longer, and we might see some infractions. That's a big penalty because it took field position away now, and we talked about how that kind of inhibits the Tennessee offense.
It is first down and 20 at the 24-yard line of the Volunteers. Anthony Miller is split out wide to the left. He can really fly.
A screen and draw down here.
And Francis to throw. Has a problem. Runs the ball and is pulled down from behind at about the 26. May have fallen forward to the 27. Larry Joyner, number 20. Gary Hadd, number 68. There on the tackle for the Golden Gophers.
All right, he wants to get some kind of a high percentage pass here, but the coverage is there. Now, Francis, they get nervous when Francis runs. Look at that. They keep him in the pocket, and now they run him down. They're nervous. Now, they drop off quite a bit if they lose Francis at the quarterback position. They don't like him to run the option, and they don't want him forced out of the pocket because he could be hurt. So that's a good play by the Minnesota defense, forcing him out.
Second down, 17 for Jeff Francis and the Volunteers. Again, he's going to be hit, but bounces off the tackle, gets the ball away, completes the pass to the 30-yard line, and it is William Howard out of the backfield, but they're way short of a first down. He got 9 on the play. Don Pollard, number 47, the weak side linebacker, and Larry Joyner, number 20, the outside linebacker from Memphis, on the hit. Third down, 9.
Okay, here's Joyner, had a big first half, a lot of big plays. This is a tough play for a linebacker. He doesn't know what to do. Francis is out there, doesn't know whether he's going to run, but he holds his ground and then makes a real good reaction play and helps on the tackle. And that's good defense by Joyner on it in a tough situation where he doesn't know whether the quarterback's going to run or pass.
And for the third time in the ball game, Jeff Francis changes his cadence and Minnesota jumps.
Well, you're taught defensively now. You're taught to watch the ball. See, that's an illegal procedure penalty. What he's calling for is, I want a penalty on him. He's got to use the same cadence. If he changes his voice to draw them off, that should be an offensive penalty, and that's what Gutekunst is saying. Coach John Gutekunst from Minnesota, he's saying he's changing his voice, he's drawing my people off. That should be a penalty on them. But defensively, your responsibility is to go on movement and not sound. You've almost got to shut it out and just watch the ball and the man in front of you. You go on movement.
Third down, Cleveland rather, comes into the slot to the left, and wide to the left is Anthony Miller. Tennessee goes to the run, but they do not get the first down with William Howard as the Minnesota defense reaction stops him. And you saw Bruce Holmes, 88, Gary Hadd, 68. Gary Hadd, the junior nose guard from Burnsville, Minnesota. And Anthony Burke, number 95, the senior out of Minnetonka, helping out.
Those 3 down linemen did a great job. Hadd holding up the center, and the fullback had no place to go. They were able to react. A good series, helped by a penalty on Tennessee. That holding penalty really shut down the Volunteer attack.
Roselle Richardson is back to take the punt from Bob Garman. Richardson, a sophomore out of Warren, Ohio. Garman gets the kick away, hangs it high, and the orange shirts are down to the coverage, and Richardson calls for the fair catch, taking it at his own 12-yard line. A kick of 46 yards, no return. And we'll be back after these messages from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports Network. Tennessee over Minnesota, 14-3, 11:48 to go in the third quarter. Minnesota's Foggy throws, completes, And it is Mel Anderson who gets the ball out for a first down across the 25 and is out of bounds at about the 27. Kelly Ziegler, number 49, got him out of bounds.
Well, there it is now. Now 13 times in the first half they run the ball. One pass, and that was towards the end of the half where they passed on first down in that last drive. And Minnesota comes out deep in their own territory, throws a pass, and that sends a signal now to the Tennessee defense. You better spread out, be on your toes a little bit, because anything can happen.
First down to the 27 for Ricky Foggy and company. Foggy options and pitches and loses. Thompson, no place to go. They ran to the short side, and Dale Jones, the All-America linebacker, number 54, over there to trap him.
They have the whole thing covered. Remember, Foggy's running into the boundary. He's only got a few yards. He's on the left hash mark. Now, to me, he should have kept the ball. He's reading the thing. He knows there's no place to go. Why put the ball in the air, turn your head upfield, pick up a yard? You're going to lose yardage anyway.
So they do lose one. It'll be 2nd and 11, and now the wishbone for Minnesota. Foggy again to the short side. Doesn't get much as he does hold on to the ball. Marion Hobby, number 90, freshman from Irondale, Alabama, at 6'4" and 261 pounds, over there to make the tackle. So they got the yard back. They lost him maybe a foot more.
Well, the reason this is happening, why they're running to the short side, again, 11 men, 5 men to the short side of the field. They figure they have it outmanned, but the quickness of the Tennessee defense, see the inside out? Foggy's got no place to go. His pitch man was out of bounds. He couldn't throw it to him, so he's got to eat the ball. They've got to adjust. They have to maybe run to the strength of the Tennessee defense. Tennessee's reading this thing too easily. 5
defensive backs on the field for Tennessee. Anderson and Bruce are the wideouts now. As Foggy play fakes, looks for a receiver, throws over the middle, and a flag goes down. The pass was incomplete. Mel Anderson caught the ball, and I was kind of looking for the flag, so let's see what it's all about.
Well, it looked to me like Davis was on his back early, riding his back. This pass is a good pass by Foggy because it's low and Davis can't get to it. He's got to climb on his back, it looks like. Now, I'm not sure, but this looks like a penalty. Watch the pass. See, the pass is low to the receiver, and Davis climbing all over him, trying to get to the ball.
So pass interference against Tennessee. And at the 41-yard line in Minnesota territory, there's the pass interference call by Rod Daly of the Atlantic Coast Conference, as are his associates.
And you can credit Foggy. The positioning of that pass caused the penalty. Davis had nowhere to go to get to that ball. It was an excellent pass into traffic, into coverage. The coverage was there, but he didn't make the play, and so they get another penalty on Tennessee.
Richardson is the up man of the eye. Foggy pitches to his tailback. Thompson looking for a block. It's not out there. Nothing but orange shirts. But he does move the ball to the 45, where he runs into Darren Miller, number 45, the inside linebacker from Flemington, New Jersey. He's a 3-year starter. He's had a shoulder injury that slowed him some.
Yeah, he had a really rough. We talked to John Major about him early part of the year. He's the other linebacker. Kelly Ziegler is their leading backer, leading tackler. But he had an injury, and he just couldn't get it going. But with the bowl season, he's healed a little bit, and most of these defensive players have begun to come around.
On 2nd down 6, Getz is now the fullback in the eye. Foggy peels out, throws on the run, and a catch at about the 48-yard line by Mel Anderson. A gain of 8 yards for the Gophers, and a first down, Minnesota.
Well, here comes that redshirt freshman out of Irondale, Alabama. Hobby, number 90. He's had a heck of a game and coming on here. Now, Foggy had the option there. He had some room to run. Instead, he threw the ball, and he's able to make that completion, which he hasn't done really most of the first half. That's a nice catch out there, too.
First down, the ball
Anderson
at the 47-yard line of Tennessee. Foggy goes to Thompson. Thompson breaks it across the 40 down to about the 38. So now Minnesota is mounting a drive that's really moving. Darrell Thompson, the freshman from Rochester, Minnesota, all Big Ten. Dale Jones, number 54, the All-America linebacker, making the hit again.
So, you know, you talk about it every week, how if you establish something, everything will work. Here's the I formation. It's an inside power formation. They've got the defense a little bit on their heels. Good block there, closing it off. The I back, what he has to do is read the defense, find the hole. There's no set hole. You just go to daylight.
Thompson again. He's picked up 77 yards and gets about 2 more there. And he may have the first down. He gets knocked off his feet by Robbie Scott, number 65, a 4-year regular, and the left tackle for Tennessee out of Decatur, Tennessee.
Guys are so quick, Merle. These orange guys, they're so quick. They go laterally. They get in the holes. You almost, to block them, you almost have to zone block them and pick them off as they come by. They stun a lot. They do a lot of tricks on the line of scrimmage. And you got to stay. The offensive line of zone block is you stay in your area. You wait for somebody to come into the area, and you just pick them up and push them out of the way and let your backs read.
Third down, length of the football for a first down. Richardson, the fullback, blocks for Thompson. There's a big pile up there, and I don't know if he made it or not.
Too slow. The thing was too slow. The defense reacted too quickly. They had to hit that thing quick, and they couldn't do it.
Fred Bennett, 95, the middle guard. Strong safety Charles Davis, 22 on the hit.
This is a power formation, but it's got to be quick. Now this thing, it's almost like a little bit of a counter. See, it's just too slow, too much space between him and his blockers. Let the defense get in behind him. You just can't do that. That was Scott getting in behind the blocking and making the play. These guys go pop, you got to boom right in there. But remember, it's been a while since they played. Timing could be a little bit off.
Fourth down, length of the football, and it's decision time for Minnesota, trailing 14-3 with 6:54 left to go in the third quarter here in the 28th annual Liberty Bowl.
I cannot believe that there's a decision to be made here. A power team has got to make this play. 4th and a yard, they've got to be able to make a yard.
And so the 30-second clock ran out. 14-3. We'll be back after this. Minnesota beat the clock. I think I said 30-second clock, 25 in college, of course. Minnesota beat the clock by calling a timeout. And now it's 4th down, inches.
Merle, if they don't make this, they have no offense. They're a running team, and a running team in the other team's territory has got to establish something. They have to be able to get a half yard or a yard for a first down. Now, remember early in the second half, the crowd got into this thing, and they had to go on first sound or movement, and the crowd is screaming again, causing some problems early.
Foggy on the option and keeps it first down. He's down the sideline. Foggy cuts back inside the 15 and is knocked out of bounds on the 13. Big play by Foggy. Whoa, extracurricular activities going on now.
This shouldn't happen.
Nope.
It's because it's the quarterback. You know, the quarterback will get everybody on the field. If you rough up the quarterback, you're guaranteed you get everybody on the field. You rough up a guard, nobody cares, or a tackle. They can defend themselves. You get one of these big, skinny quarterbacks, and the rest of the team thinks he's getting hammered over there, and they're gonna clear the bench. And it happened on the Minnesota side, and they were pushing Foggy out of bounds. And I know that they all want to protect their quarterback.
A 26-yard run by Foggy.
Now Foggy makes a great play right there as he slides through, slices through. Now watch what happens. See how, remember I talked about how high he runs in the first half? That's why he takes his punishment. He doesn't know how to hold his head down, put his head down, and that's what starts it. Hey, you're picking on our guy, Roselle Richardson, the fullback, and then everybody hurts their hands, which is what happens in a football fight. A lot of plastic out there.
There are flags dropped all over the place, and now we'll have to, well, I think first of all, they're going to have a little cooling off period here.
Well, the first penalty should go against Tennessee for tackling him out of bounds. There it is. And then you'll probably have an unsportsmanlike on everybody. This should be kind of a, it should be kind of a penalty on both sides. Now, here's Foggy again. He's got to duck his head. See, he's held up. Now this is the first penalty. He's clearly out of bounds. They take old Ricky and they drop him. And now everybody gets a flag. They don't have enough flags for one of these. Here's one for you and one for you.
That was a dead ball foul, and we understand that a player from each team has been ejected. And it is first down Minnesota, where the play ended on the out of bounds. Before that run, by the way, Foggy had only 9 yards and 9 carries.
And he shouldn't have gotten loose on that one. That was just, he turned sideways. The guy only weighs 185 pounds. He slid through there, thin as he is, and he was able to get in there.
Watch Johnny Majors now with a headset on there as this fight breaks out across the way, and Johnson, now wait a minute, right, troops, get back.
I noticed as soon as he started saying, everybody said, all right, let's get back.
At the 12-yard line, first down Minnesota. Getz is the fullback of the eye. And again, Foggy says, hey, my guys cannot hear the count.
He's given charging Tennessee with a timeout because of the crowd. Yeah, and that's going to be expensive because if Minnesota scores, we've got one heck of a close game here. The crowd has to understand, and they cost Minnesota early in the game because Minnesota went away from their cadence, as I said earlier, went on movement, and this is a big deal in this game. Minnesota was very close, didn't get the first down, turned it over inside the 10-yard line, and that's a good play by the official. Now I hope the crowd responds. Tennessee be out of timeout soon.
It could have been. There was a warning there also. If it happens again, because the referee, Rod Daly, wasted no time in pointing to Tennessee and saying timeout.
Well, technically, you know, there's no home team here, but if you check the crowd here, there's a lot more orange than there is gold and purple or maroon. And the crowd has to understand they could change. They may have already changed the outcome of this game, and that's not fair. The game should be played on the field. Johnny Majors, of course, he's upset. He doesn't want his timeouts taken away from him.
Minnesota, first down. Just outside the 11. Showing blitz. Foggy options. Foggy spinning at the 5 and is into the end zone. Touchdown. Ricky Foggy, an 11-yard touchdown run, 88-yard drive, 2 big plays by Foggy on the ground. It appears Minnesota will go for the 2-point conversion. They trail by a score of 14-9. And here it is. Gets the fullback in the eye. The pitch. Thompson, 2 points. So the Golden Gophers come storming back with a long touchdown drive with great running by Foggy, and Thompson gets the 2-point conversion, and it's 14-11 Tennessee.
3 penalties so far in this half for Tennessee, and they have not shut down Ricky Foggy in the third quarter. Watch this. Looks like a basketball player spinning and moving. 2 stress fractures this guy's playing with. He's into the end zone. That's a big one. From behind, you're playing defense. Now he's stringing them out. They've established a couple of things. The pass, not enough people for Tennessee. The blocking isn't very, the tackling isn't very good, and Foggy gets in. And the 2-point conversion, I'll tell you, Mel Anderson on the corner. I don't know if you'll be able to see him. I want you to watch 89, the wide receiver. Foggy's going to pitch it to Thompson. Now 89 at the goal line when he goes over, holding the block right there. Goes right over him. Anderson makes the block that gets Thompson in, and we're close.
And it is now a 14-11 ball game with 6:30 to go in the third quarter as Foggy runs for 40 of the 88-yard drive.